Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to part 2 of your voter guide, special to the presidential primary. Let's get started. Your candidates are Jeb Bush, Ben Carson, Chris Christie, Hillary Clinton, Ted Cruz, Carly Fiorina, John Kasich, Marco Rubio, Bernie Sanders, and Donald Trump. Need to know. Here's what you need to know. Uncleared voters may choose to vote in either Democratic or Republican primary. They will be required to choose one ballot. After voting, they can opt to return to undeclared status by filling out a card or list with supervisors of the checklist. What you'll need for the primary voting. Photo identification will be required to vote. Acceptable IDs include driver's license, non-driver identification card issued by state, U.S. Armed Service Card, a U.S. passport, a student IDs from a college in the state and approved to operate in New Hampshire, including Dartmouth College and schools in the University and Community College systems of New Hampshire. Student IDs for public high schools and from private schools that are accredited and recognized by the Department of Education. Accepted cards must have an expiration or issue date. It will remain valid for 5 years past the expiration date unless the voter is older than 65. If a voter does not have a photo ID card, they will be required to sign a affidavit, verify their identity, and have their photo taken by an elector, moderator, or other designated official. Special needs. The moderator or designated each polling location can aid persons with people with a wheelchair, in a wheelchair or something. If you have any questions or concerns about voting, please call 1-866-868-3703. Where to vote? Let's begin with that. In Allenstown, you'll be voting at the Bristol Parish Hall. In Andover, you'll be voting at Andover Elementary School. In Barnstead, you'll be voting at the Barnstead Town Hall. In Belmont, you'll be voting at the Belmont High School. In Boscawen, you'll be voting at Boscawen Town Hall. In Bow, you'll be voting at Bow Memorial School. In Bradford, you'll be voting at Kearsarge Regional Elementary School. In Bristol, you'll be voting at Marine Center. In Canterbury, you'll be voting at Old Town Hall. In Chester, you'll be voting at the Chester Town Hall. In Concord, you'll be voting at Concord Ward 1, Concord Ward 2, Concord Ward 3, Concord Ward 4, Concord Ward 5, Concord Ward 6, Concord Ward 7, Concord Ward 8, Concord Ward 9, Concord Ward 10. And Danbury, you'll be voting at the Danbury Town Hall. In Deerfield, you'll be voting at the Deerfield Town Hall. In Deering, you'll be voting at the Deering Town Hall. In Dunbarton, you'll be voting at the Dunbarton Community Center. In Epsom, you'll be voting at the Epsom Central School. In Franklin, you'll be voting at Ward 1, Ward 2, or Ward 3. In Guilford, you'll be voting at the Guilford Community Church. In Gilmington, you'll be voting at Gilmington Academy Building. In Henniker, you'll be voting at Henniker Community School. In Hill, you'll be voting at Hill Public Library. In Hillsborough, you'll be voting at Hillsborough Deering Middle School. In Hopkinton, you'll be voting at Hopkinton High School. In Laconia, you'll be voting at Ward 1, Ward 2, Ward 3, Ward 4, Ward 5, and Ward 6. In Loudoun, you'll be voting at Loudoun Fire Department. In Meredith, you'll be voting at Meredith Community Center. In Newbury, you'll be voting at Town Office Building. New Hampton, you'll be voting at New Hampton Town Hall. New Loudoun, you'll be voting at Pines Community Center. In Northwood, you'll be voting at St. Joseph's Parish Church Hall. In Pembroke, you'll be voting at the Three Rivers School. In Pittsfield, you'll be voting at Pittsfield Town Hall. Salisbury, you'll be voting at Salisbury Town Hall. San Bernardino, you'll be voting at the Old Town Hall. Scituate, you'll be voting at Scituate Town Hall. Tilton, you'll be voting at Winnisquam High School. Warner, you'll be voting at Warner Town Hall. Ware, you'll be voting at Ware Middle School. Webster, you'll be voting at Webster Town Hall. And Wilmington, you'll be voting at the Wilmington Town Hall. Now let's talk about each candidate. Each candidate has special things, like every candidate will be doing income tax, corporation tax, capital gains, and divides and interest, estate tax, exportation, deduction, and credit, and other. All the candidates will have their own views on each one. Also, is the Earth warming and global climate changing unprediction ways? Each candidate has a different thing for that. Also, if so, is caused by latest human active. Candidates have different says on those. What action should be taken regarding coal? Candidates have different takes on that. Keystone Pipeline, they have different takes on that. What action should be taken regarding Solo and Revenald Energy? They have different opinions on that. Support Clean Power Plan, they have different takes on that. And opinion of UN Climate Agreement, they have different opinions on that. And that does it for your voter guide presidential primary special. I hope you all have a wonderful night, and I hope this helped you. Good night, everyone.